So you want to teach your class how to code line following? Stick around and you just might learn how. So line following is a concept that is used in big manufacturing companies all around the world. This is how they're able to transport goods and sometimes parts from one place of the factory to another. And so it's absolutely fascinating to watch this, because how do the machines know where to go? Well, it's coded. And so today we are going to learn just the basics of how to get this code down using the microbits and apprentice bots. The main thing to remember with the microbits and the line following sensors is that there are 4 specific numbers you need to remember. These numbers are 0, 1, 2, and 3. Why these numbers? Because each of these numbers represent something specific using the line following sensors. See, number 3 means that both the line following sensors are on the color black, which is what you want. Number 0 means that both the line following sensors are on the color white, which is what you don't want. Number 1 means that the left sensor is on the white color and the right sensor is on the black color. And that is a situation where you need to have the robot correct itself. And then number 2 is where the right sensor is on the white and the left sensor is on the black. And then again, you want your robot to be able to correct itself. Before we get into working with these numbers, I want the kids to know this concept and be able to wake up in the middle of the night and know what each of these numbers mean. So what do? I introduce it through a game. I absolutely love using games in the classroom because kids' language is play. And so through playing, they are able to get this committed to their memories, and I'm able to reference this whenever we're talking about this topic. So what game are we going to play? We're going to play a game where I'm going to have the kids see the black line, the pathway, in front of them. What you could do in your classrooms, you could tape this on the ground. What I did was project a black line in front of the class with the projector, and I had the kids use the space of the classroom and imagine this black line ran right from the screen all the way on the ground. So when I called out numbers, I called out specific numbers. I said number 3 means we all have both our feet here in the safe place with the black line underneath us. When I called out number 0, it meant that both the feet needed to be out of the black line on the white part. When I called out number 1, it meant that their left foot had to step on the left side of the class so that it looked like their left foot was out and their right foot was in. And then when I called out number 2, they had to step out on the right side with their right foot and have their left foot in the correct place. This was absolutely fun because I turned it into a competition. Who was able to stay the longest following the instructions? Now that the foundation has been laid, I can now get the kids to get onto make code, and let's get to coding. So let's make a new project. We're gonna call it line following. Once you've created this robot, you want to add the extension for the apprentice bot. So I just type in the word apprentice and you can go ahead and put it in. What that does is that it introduces these K-bit codes here, which you need. These are the codes you need for the car to move around, for you to use the remote, that's also coming up, for us to use the NeoPixel ring. So much fun things that you can do with it, but you definitely want the K-bit codes. Right, so before we do anything, we are going to start with our forever code. You do not need your unstart button. If you want, you can keep it there. I just delete it. So your forever button, your forever block code, we are going to go ahead and choose logic. Okay, with this logic, I can now build my code, and I'm going to start by using a comparison which says 0 equals 0. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the first true statement. So if, and I'm going to go and select from my sensors, if my line tracking is equals to the number 3. Let me start building the code. If my line tracking is equals to the number 3, which means both my sensors are on the right path, I want my car to run forward. So I'll say it must run forward at a speed. I try to start with a slower speed so that they can get the hang of it. And then that's my first statement. Then from here, I want to build on my else, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna duplicate this diamond, and all I need to do is change the numbers. So that means that my left sensor is out of the way and I want my robot to turn to the direction of the correct path, which is at that point, my right foot. So you want it to turn to the right. So you're gonna choose that car run forward, but change it to turn right. And you don't want this turn to be too fast, okay? So you can say turn right at 10%. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna keep adding an else if. I'm gonna duplicate this, go ahead and put it there, and just change the number to the number 2, which means the opposite of turning right. And for this one, we're gonna say turn left, and so on and so forth, because it's gonna be turning towards the correct way. From here, if my microbit hasn't sensed number 3, 1, or 2, the only other option for them to sense is the number 0, which means that they are on white. So what you want then is for the car to stop. And that is the basic code. From here, we take our robots, we go test them out and have fun with it. Then after this, I challenge my kids. What ways can you make this code better? Then we have the ideas. We can put the LED lights. Oh, great. We can put something on the microbit LEDs themselves. We can put a message. We can put sounds. And then I have them go and build onto this code and have fun with it. Remember, you want your kids to spend majority of the time doing the fun part, the practical part. But once they know the basics, they then get to build on top of that. And that, my friends, is how we would go about teaching this lesson. It's very quick, it's very easy, and you can do it. It's not that hard. So, share with me how it goes. Happy coding!